Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, Yorkshire Crafter. My name's Julie and today is Sunday. So Sunday is Whip and Chat day, and today I have decided to diamond paint. So I am carrying on with the guinea pig eating watermelon from Spell Queen, and this is a square diamond painting with some ABs. So let's get this colour out. I'm going to be working on the side of his face here, going down into his little cheek and his eye. So this is only half the painting that we've got showing on the camera. This is rather a large, it's 45 by 60 centimetres, this one. So let's get on with what I have been up to this week. So Monday morning I woke up at 9 o'clock. I got up, had my coffee, washed up, and then there was some washing to put on from baths and showers and things from Sunday. This is usually about 2 loads from a Sunday, so we can get one done by the time we've had Sunday dinner, Sunday lunch, and then I'll do the second load then on the Monday if I don't get time to get it done. So yeah, got some washing on, and then I got into stitching. So I was stitching on Ho 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 from Doreen Jones up until lunchtime, and then for lunch I had a cheese and cucumber sandwich with some stackers, what I call the Aldi Pringles. So I had that for lunch, and then I was sorting out the washing, getting it in the dryer, because this week we've had some not very nice weather. Had quite high winds and rain, and it says it's the tail end of a storm that's come down to us. So yeah, very high winds and rain. That's all we've had all week really, and carried on into the weekend. And then I was stitching after that, so I decided to pull out On the Beach. That's my Stitch Rovia. So yeah, On the Beach. So I was stitching on that for most of the afternoon until it was pet feeding time. Help feed the pets. Our youngest Oliver walked Ted, and then we were deciding what to have for tea, because on the Monday we should have had a shopping delivery, an Asda food delivery, but yeah, rather than it being a home delivery, it came up on the account that it had been put on for click and collect. So my husband rung up and just explained he clicked the wrong thing. Could we change it to a home delivery? So apparently the lady on the other end of the phone, the customer service, she was fantastic. She knew exactly what to do. She said what we'll do is those items we can swap over. So we will do the click and collect as a return, so you'll get your refund, but rather than sending those items back, we'll just bag them up delivery, and then we'll send it express, which is basically they send it with a Uber driver. So an express delivery comes with Uber drivers. So that's what they did, and yeah, that came I think around 5, 5:30 by the time they'd sorted it out, and yeah, so that all got sorted. So yeah, we had whatever was in the freezer for tea, basically what I call a picky tea. So we had some sausage rolls in the freezer, we had some garlic bread, we had some chips, there was some like steak bakes, steak pasties, so yeah, basically what I call a bits and bobs tea. So yeah, we just got whatever we wanted from the trays. So I think I had a sausage roll, a couple of pieces of garlic bread and some chips. Yeah, out of all that all of that mishmash tea. And then just as we were getting washed up and tidied up after tea, that's when the delivery came. So we're sorting that and putting all that away. And then in the evening when I came up here, then it was the Disney Dollhouse Live, me and Crafty Chris. We did issue 72, and it was the 2 side windows. So we'll put in some more windows in the bay window. So we'd put the bigger window, the middle one, in the previous week. So this week we put the other 2 side smaller windows at either side of that big window in the middle. So I think that is now the first floor complete. So we just had those windows to put in, and then that, you know, all the walls are up, the windows are in, all the trim's on. So basically all there's left to do down there then is to decorate, to put the furniture in and all the little accessories and things. So that'll come right at the end when we finish building. So yeah, that is that floor now complete, I think. I don't think we'll go back to that floor again apart from at the end. So then after the Disney Dollhouse, there was the tank with Horlicks. So I was watching him and diamond painting, I think. Yeah, I don't think I'd have been stitching at that time. So yeah, watching Horlicks with the tank and diamond painting. So then I went off to bed and I was watching some YouTube. So then on to Tuesday. So Tuesday I woke up early, 7:30. I can't remember. Yes, I think Mark must have already been up, I think just before me, maybe 7 o'clock. So I wasn't long after him, but there was still the morning jobs to do, so washing up and things like that. So I got all that done while I was having my coffee. Mark went for his bath. So you know, the pets were being fed and sorted, so he went for his bath while I had my coffee and came round a bit. And then when he came down from his bath, I went for mine. So I had my bath, got that done and out the way. And then I was stitching on Ho 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 from Darren Jones. So I was working on that up until lunchtime, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. So I've got a little bit done. And then for lunch, again, I had a cheese and cucumber sandwich. So I had that for my lunch. And then in the afternoon, I stitched a little bit on Ho Ho Ho, maybe for an hour, but then we were sorting out tea. For tea, we were having calzone, so you know, the folded pizza. But yeah, there's quite a bit of prep to do for that meal. So we sliced up some mushrooms, drained some sweet corn out of the tin, drained some pineapple again out of the tin, chopped up some pepper. We had some red pepper, so we're chopping up that. And then my husband had already got a bag of grated cheese, but he'd also got the what they called, balls of cheese. I've forgotten now, but yeah, he wanted to drain those as well out of their little bags, because they come in that liquid in the little bags. So yeah, he wanted to dry them off a bit, so he drained the water out and then put the balls themselves in some kitchen roll to dry them a little bit. But yeah, he said he'd rather drain all the contents and not have a soggy calzone, because then it doesn't cook properly, it doesn't crisp the dough. So yeah, he prefers to have drier ingredients when it's going into a calzone. So yeah, we're doing all that. Well, I should say I was doing all that while he was making the dough and leaving that to rise a little bit before he rolled it out to make them. He likes to let it rise for a good hour or two. So then we just sat in the living room, and I think we were playing on our phones for a little bit and stuff like that, and he said, right, it's assembly time. So yeah, he was sorting out that. He said I'll go and make them up, and excuse me, goodness me, I'm sorry. So he said he was going to make that. I said, do you want any help? He said, no, I'll be fine, I'll go and finish them off. So yeah, I just stayed in the living room playing on my phone, and yeah, then I could hear him rummaging around in cupboards and drawers and things like that, and he said, I can't find the foil. I want to cover the tops so they don't get too cooked on the top. Still goes a little bit golden, a little bit crisp, but I don't want them to burn while the inside of it's cooking properly, even though the veggie and he still wants to make sure they're all cooked through, and nice melted cheese. And so yeah, we sat and had tea, so calzone for tea. And then in the evening when I came up here, think I was diamond painting for a little bit before I went to go and help with the live streams. So I help Chris with the Eddie Stobart, and then I help Geordie Dave and Dano with the Titanic. So yeah, I help on both those live streams. If you can hear that outside, it's kids singing. I don't know what they're singing, I can't make it out what they're singing, but they're chanting or singing something, but yeah, it's just the kids outside. But yeah, so after the live streams we had a bit of a chit chat, and then I headed off to bed and I was watching some YouTube. Then on to Wednesday, Mark and Jack, I think, went off to town. I was still in bed. I actually got up late Wednesday. I didn't get up till 10 o'clock. They'd already been and come back, and yeah, by the time I got downstairs I was making my coffee and they were like, yeah, we've been and done and come back, and I'm like, okay, alright, yeah, whatever. So yeah, they'd been out and done that, and so I sat and had my coffee, and then Mark came in the kitchen and said, yeah, we picked you up some bits, some chocolate from town and stuff. So he was showing me that, what he'd picked up and things like that. So he was showing me what he'd got. Then I was stitching. I stitched on Finishing Touch, so the snow couple that's decorating the Christmas tree. So I was working on that a bit until lunch. For lunch I had a chocolate spread sandwich. So yeah, I had that for my lunch. So yeah, I had that. And then in the afternoon I was working a little bit more on Finishing Touch up until tea time. And then for tea we had those rolls, them torpedo rolls, and we had the prawn salad, which is always really, really nice. Always nice. I really do like that tea. Trying to get this corner up. Come on. There we go. So got some more of these. So yeah, we had that for tea, and then in the evening when I came up here there was the crafters Zoom, the Anycraft Zoom. So by the time I got up here there was, I think, maybe an hour or two before that Zoom opened. So I was, what was I doing? I was getting organised for a new start. It was actually a fabric that my husband bought me for Christmas. It was a white sparkly Ada that he got me last Christmas, but I just hadn't pulled the threads and looked at what colours and things that I needed. So yeah, since Christmas I had kitted that up, you know, with my new threads and everything like that. I just hadn't started it, so I pulled everything out, got the project bag and the magazine, and it was all together in its bag, but I just needed to sort out the fabric, find the centre, and then look on the pattern and find the centre of the pattern, get the fabric in the Q-snap, so get that ready to start. So I did that, and then I think it was maybe 1:45. It was about 10-15 minutes before the Zoom was due to start, so I thought, right, I'll go get myself a coffee, go, you know, get myself organised and everything before I get into the Zoom. So I did that, got into Zoom, and I started Spirit of Christmas by Doreen Jones, and it's in one of the stitching magazines. I think it's in Cross Stitcher, I believe. So yeah, I think that's where I saw the pattern. So it's a lady in a gorgeous green Christmas dress with a long red cape, and it's got some gold thread details like stars and things in her dress, and like I said, a gorgeous red cape, with some long ribbon, like ribbon tie, and it's got a hood on the cape. So yeah, I started that one on Wednesday in the Crafters Zoom. So yeah, I was doing that, and then when I came off Zoom, then I went to bed and I was watching a little bit of YouTube, and then went off to sleep. So then Thursday, again, I woke up late, 10 o'clock. So yeah, got a few morning jobs done. I had my coffee, washed up, and then I got into stitching. So I was doing some more on Finishing Touch, and that's by Pain Free Crafts. So I was stitching on that a little bit until lunchtime. For lunch I had some sea sticks, so the crab sticks, and some Pringles, well, some stackers. So I had that for lunch, and then in the afternoon I decided to pull out a smaller project, Santa's balloon. So I was stitching that a little bit, and then I realised I needed to tea dye a piece of fabric. So I didn't need it too dark, so I didn't want to coffee dye it, but I just wanted to darken the fabric a little bit, because the pattern I was starting, the border was in white or a really light thread, so I couldn't really stitch it onto white fabric. So the fabric I'd already pulled for that new start was white, and I didn't I didn't want to do anything with it in case I found or bought another piece that wasn't white, that was like cream or like that tan colour, or a bit darker, you know, like the vintage country mocha kind of fabric that I could put the pattern on. So yeah, I hadn't dyed it before then in case I had another piece that I could put this certain project on. So yeah, I was doing that before tea, and I did put it to dry on one of the radiators. The radiator wasn't on or anything, it was just to sort of air dry it, somewhere to put it to dry. But yeah, anyway, so I tea dyed that piece of fabric, and then I got back to stitching Santa's balloon for a little bit before tea. And for tea we had pizza, so we got a couple of different pizzas. We got a meat feast, and we got a pepperoni. So they were the not big family pizzas, but they weren't the small individuals, so they were like medium. So we did the 2 pizzas and shared it between the 4 of us. I only had, I think I had 1 of each slice. That's usually enough for me with it being pizza. I get quite full with dough, like bread. Yeah, I get quite full, so 1 of each. So yeah, we had pizza for tea, and then after tea made a coffee, and then brought everything up with me, including the fabric, because I did plan to start that pattern that night. So in here I have one of the like string things up at the window that you use at Christmas time. You know, you can put sort of pin it or clip it to your wall to put Christmas cards and things up. But I've got one in here that's tied to either side of the windows, and I sort of pegged the fabric to that with the windows open, so it kind of air dried, and yeah, dried a little bit quicker than what it would have if I'd have left it downstairs on the radiator. So I was watching a little bit of YouTube when I came up here. I kept checking the fabric and turning it so it dried, and then I was able to have the new start that I wanted. So I measured from the centre outwards. I don't think it was a pattern that you could start in the centre, because it had like a border all the way around, and that was the first part. So this pattern comes in 4 parts. So the first part was the border, so I couldn't really start in the centre, so I had to find one of the corners. So I measured equally from the centre, and then from those outward marks up to the top and the bottom, and yeah, found the 4 corners. So I just picked a corner to start in, and I started Merry Greetings by Missy Patel at Luminous Fibre Arts. So it's the Christmas one that she's done. Like I said, it came in 4 parts. So the first part that I started with is the border, and it's just sort of the 4 sides, and then in those 4 sides there's like these 6 squares. The next 3 parts after that is 2 of the squares. So part 2 was the top 2 squares, part 3 was the 2 middle squares, and then the last drop is the 2 bottom squares. So, but yeah, I'm just starting with part 1 at the minute, the border. So yeah, I got I think the top left corner stitched. So I did a little bit, a couple of 100 stitches maybe I did on that. So yeah, I had a new start on Thursday as well. So yeah, a couple of Christmas starts, because I am stitching Christmas in July, Jolly July. So I already had a few Christmas patterns going, but I wanted to start a couple more, and I already had fabric and things picked for them, so I just had to make sure I had all the threads or close to the threads to be able to start them. So yeah, it was another new start. Whoops. So then after I'd stitched a little bit on that, I then went to bed and I was watching a little bit of YouTube. So I was doing that. Then on to Friday. So Friday I woke up about 9 o'clock. So Friday is bedding and bath day. So got up, had my coffee, Mark went for his bath, and then after he'd done in the bath, he shouted me saying, you know, do you want to come and doing the bed while I'm getting dry and dressed, and then you can get in the bath after. So yeah, I did that, got on with the changing the bed in, had my bath, brought everything down, got the washing on, and then we were getting on with lunch. So I had sea sticks and Pringles for my lunch, and then in the afternoon I was recording floss tube, so doing my stitchy progress video. So yeah, I did that in the afternoon, and yeah, I was editing and uploading, and then I did the description box and the thumbnail, and by the time I'd done all that and got back downstairs, it was tea time. So what did we have for tea on Friday? It was hot beef sandwiches. So Mark and the boys had hot beef sandwiches, and I kind of had mine deconstructed. So I just had the beef and a little bit of gravy in a dish, and then I had my tea cake, my bread roll on the side. So I just dipped my bread into the gravy and had mine like that. So I just ate the beef as it was and just dipped the bread in the gravy and what was left in the bottom of the dish. So yeah, I had mine deconstructed. Then after tea, when I came up here, I then needed to tidy up from floss tube. There was bags and projects and yeah, the bed was covered, so I needed to get tidied up from that. And then I sat and diamond painted. So yeah, diamond painted a little bit. I was watching some YouTube. I think I watched an Emma Kenny, a true crime. Then I watched Danielle Kirsty. She's another, she does true crime and makeup, so she'll do her makeup while she's reading a true crime story. And then I watched another Emma Kenny. So yeah, watched an Emma Kenny, watched a Danielle Kirsty, and then watched another Emma Kenny. Then I think I watched a couple of floss tubers, because yeah, after listening to true crime and stuff like that, I couldn't then go straight to bed. So I was watching a couple of floss tubers on the computer, and then I switched off the computer, got into bed and watched some more floss tube YouTube in bed, and then yeah, went off to sleep. Oops, that one don't want to go in. It keeps twisting. There we go. That one kept wanting to twist. So then on to Saturday, which was yesterday. Yeah, it wasn't a very good day. There was a lot of chaos in the house. The boys were at each other's throats. Yeah, so it was just a bit of chaos in the house. So I just kept to in here most of the day, yeah, either stitching or diamond painting or yeah. So let me have a sip of coffee and then I will tell you what went on yesterday. So yesterday I woke up about 9 o'clock. Had my coffee, came round a little bit. I was sorting out a little bit of washing. Then got on with lunch, and then yeah, chaos ensued from lunchtime afterwards. So the boys were at each other's throats. Me and Mark kept trying to calm the situation down and explain to each of the boys, you know, where each other was coming from, and somehow it seemed to make it worse. We thought it'd make it better, but somehow it seemed to make it worse. So our thought was, usually if me and Mark come upstairs, each into his rooms, Oliver will usually follow. He'll come up and watch TV or just chill out on his bed and you know, Jack will be down in the kitchen either on his laptop or playing on his PlayStation. Just kind of separate them, but unbeknownst to them, you know, the teenage boys, so we can't separate them, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, nearly 20 and nearly 18 are just, yeah, at each other's throats, or they seemed to be yesterday for some reason. But yeah, it did seem to work. It kind of calmed it down for the afternoon, so we were just sort of chilling and doing his own thing, but yeah, and then it got to tea time, and yeah, it seemed to spark up again. Don't know why, either somebody commented or something got, you know, and then yeah, after tea we tried the same again, but Oliver said he didn't want to come up, he wanted to stay downstairs and watch TV. So then Jack said, well, I'll go into the bedroom and watch TV and, you know, chill out on my bed for a little bit, and yeah, it just sparked it up again, and yeah, it was sort of on and off all evening. It was carnage, as I say it. But yeah, yeah, so yeah, that was my Saturday. Yeah, so once we'd had tea, which was beans and sausages on toast, yeah, it didn't really calm down from there. It was just arguments and carnage. But, yeah. Yeah, not good. Anyway, things seem to be a lot better today. Things seem to have calmed down. They are being civil to each other, they're talking to each other, so yeah, things do seem to be better today, so just keep fingers crossed that things stay that way. But hey, yeah, carnage. So yeah, today for Sunday lunch we have had lasagna and garlic bread, and then we had cheesecake. We had a lemon cheesecake for dessert. So then afterwards, while the boys were cleaning up and tidying up, I made me and Mark a coffee, and yeah, we've come up here and we're both currently recording. So I'm recording this and Mark's doing some recording for his part works and things like that. So yeah, we are pretty much caught up for this week. So yeah, that is everything. I don't think I've got anything to tell you guys or anything to report. next week, Disney Dollhouse. Tuesday I'll be helping on live streams, and then just sort of Wednesday onwards I'll just be, you know, crafting and having evenings and things, and yeah, just crafting and yeah, getting bits and pieces done. Next weekend, Saturday the 22nd is when we will be going to the family barbecue. So I believe next weekend is also the cross stitch weekend, so the 21st, the 22nd and the 23rd. So yeah, the 22nd I won't be in, and I won't be able to do the new start until, well, I could do it on the Friday, I could start it early, or I could start it on the Sunday the 23rd, because it's the 3 cats, the Doreen Jones 3 cats. We should be starting that on the Saturday, but that's when we're going to the family barbecue. So yeah, I'll probably start it on the Sunday. So yeah, that is this upcoming week. Next week I might have my magazines in. Usually a week after it's released to the general public. Yeah, so my magazines should be in the supermarket by now, so Mark might be able to pick them up on Wednesday for me. So watch out for those coming up, because the week before it usually gets put in the supermarkets and shops and things, but ours don't get it till a week after. I don't know why, but then week previous to that is usually when the subscribers and the ones that get it through the post get theirs. So yeah, I don't usually get mine till a week or two after subscribers and general release, and I don't know why our supermarket gets it a week after, or maybe because Mark goes so early shopping on a Wednesday, they might have then got the delivery that afternoon, so then obviously you can't pick it up till a week later. So maybe that could be why. I don't know, it just depends when they get the deliveries of the magazines and then get them out on the shelves. But yeah, he doesn't usually go out shopping or to the supermarkets or anything till on a Wednesday in the week, so yeah, they might not put them out till the afternoon, they might not get a chance to, so then he picks them up a week later. So yeah, I should have those this coming week. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. Enjoy what's left of the weekend, have a fantastic week next week, and if you're around on Monday for the Doll's House, please pop in and say hi. But yeah, so that is everything. So remember guys, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Bye guys.